standing here, the writer and creator of numerous comic books and graphic novels, including Nightmare World, Tales of Mystery, Brave But Not Dead, all kinds of stuff. And I am super excited for you because you are getting to watch right now, right this moment, out of all the things we're going to be doing, you're getting to enjoy and revel in the Madness Comic Network. And that is awesome. Thank you for being here.
I don't know why, but you are watching the Madness Comic Network. Are you mental?
It's a legit question. I'm just saying. What is up, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode of Monday Madness. Looking at almost 5 years of doing this. And we love every minute of it. What's up, Cos? We got Cosmac Grandpa in the chat over on YouTube. What's happening? And look at this. This guy, not only is he in the chat, but he is also the newest co-host. And hopefully forever co-host. I don't have to do that no more.
How's it going, Pops? What's going on, man?
How you doing, Levi? Welcome to the crew, my friend.
Thank you.
So, you joined us yesterday as the co-host of the Madness Open Draw stream for the first time. Did great job. Yeah, man. I think this is gonna work. You get it. You understand what we're trying to do here. So, for those of you who do not, what we do is we promote independent creators, whether it be people who create games, comic books, authors, gamers. It doesn't matter what you do. Whatever you do, if you do it independently of some giant conglomerate, we're here to help you get seen. That's our goal. So, Ka saying hello. Welcome to the show, brother. So today, look, I hate doing the I'm about to wreck your name thing. So I'm gonna bring him out and I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Hello, Robert. How you doing?
Hey, it's great to be here. It's Jeschonek, man. Jeschonek.
There you go. Jeschonek.
Whatever.
I'm not sure if I said it right or not when I was telling Levi who the first guest was, but yeah, it's better to err on the side of caution. You know how to say it. You're right.
Hey, as long as I'm here talking to you guys, you can call me Ray. You can call me Jay. You can call me RJ. You can whatever. That'll fit.
Well, we can't call you RJ because we got 2 of those already. That's crazy, man.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Levi, on your promotion.
Thank you. Thank you.
It wasn't so much a promotion. He volunteered for the spot. We had an opening, and it was, I have a few shows that I'm not necessarily fit to host. I'm not an artist, Robert.
Right.
So the Drawstream, I've never felt comfortable hosting that show, right? I'm not an artist to do it, So I always try to get somebody who actually draws to host or at least co-host that show with me, because what am I going to do but switch the screens? Basically, I'm a producer on that show.
Yeah.
I need somebody there that can actually talk art forms, stuff that I don't know nothing about, right? I'm a fan, Robert.
Right.
Fan, especially if some of the people involved in your project. Man.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Before we go off into that, though, let's get a little bit of history on you yourself, man. Tell everybody where you come into this mess from, because indie comics is a mess. We all know it.
Well, thanks again for having me back on. It's been a little while. It's been a minute. But I loved being on here before. I love talking to you guys, to you, Pops, and whoever else was on at the time. And it's always a hoot. And I love your show. Period. So.
I think we had Rich. Rich was my co-host back then.
I don't know. I don't remember. Sorry to say.
But, a big hairy Italian guy. You'd remember him.
Oh, maybe. Okay. That rings a bell. Yeah.
Pretty sure Rich was my co-host back then.
He kept leaning on me and saying, he's like, "Come on, hey, what's the matter with you?"
that guy.
Nah, I'm kidding. Yeah. But yes, I'm a writer and an editor and a publisher. I've been writing fiction for a long time, and I've also written some comics. I wrote a couple things for DC, some comics stories for them, a Batman piece and a Justice Society piece and a couple of other things, and wrote some Star Trek fiction and different novels and books and short stories. And I'm always writing stuff, always publishing things. And so since I have like both the comic book side and the prose fiction side, I thought, let's bring them together here for this project. Yeah. Okay. And this has been like a dream project of mine for years. Truly. I know a lot of people say that, but truly this has been just something I got like the germ of an idea here. And I thought, oh, I really want to see that happen. If it can happen, I didn't even know if it could. And
you're right. I have heard that dream project line a lot, but 99% of the time, it's kind of that person's passion project. You know what I mean? It is, everybody's got something inside to get out. Not everybody knows what their outlet is.
That's right. That's what it's all about. That's what the creative life is about. So yeah, absolutely. But this was one of those I always thought, well, wouldn't it be great to see some of these characters I loved back in the 80s, especially, when the indie comics revolution was just starting to really take off and, bring them back in some way. And so that's really that's the origin of this.
So how on board were a lot of the writers involved in the project? Was it kind of like wrangling cats at first, or?
You've worked with writers before, I see.
artists in general. Yeah, we're all kind of flaky.
Actually, the team I have in place here, they're all like super pros. So in reality, I didn't have any real wrangling to do with this particular group. They were just and really, like, I reached out to them and they didn't know me from Adam. Like, I've been publishing for a long time. I've had a lot of work out there, but I'm not exactly a household name.
Right.
So, they didn't really know me, and yet they responded, and all of these folks who are participating right now in this book, they all were like, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a new story of Badger or Mr. Monster or Grimjack or John Sable. Yeah, let's give it a shot. So, you know, and once I got their interest peaked and kind of confirmed some of the details, they were on board. They've been pushing and helping to make it succeed. So
nice.
Yeah. That's the difference. Like, I love working with professionals. It's great.
that was going to be my next comment. It's like a who's list of professionals. So they probably really know how to hit their marks and stuff.
Absolutely. That's why I'm not too worried about, like, once the Kickstarter's over, how hard I'm going to have to work to edit the project. I'm like, I think it's going to just kind of come together pretty easily, because these guys, they know their stuff, and they've been doing it forever.
I know a couple of them people. They understand what a deadline is. And,
yes.
You know what I mean? It's like, look, one of your guys is one of our favorite people. Okay, Mike Barron's one of our. He's been part of the madness been on our show dozens of times, of different shows. I mean, look. I know that dude's gonna get the work done.
Oh yeah,
he's got his fingers in so many pies. He don't have no time to slow down.
I know. Oh my God, he's an inspiration. He really is, because he has not slowed down, and he's been in the game a long time, man. Mm-hmm. He really has, and yet his output continues to increase, if anything.
Every time I turn around, he's like, "Pops, we got something to promote." I'm like, "No, you got 3 or 4 things to promote. Come on out. We talk about them all."
I know. It's great. I mean, his imagination just keeps firing, like on all cylinders, and I love working with him. I worked with him on a previous anthology. It was an all fiction anthology, and it was called Space 1975. And he wrote a science fiction short story for that book. It was a couple of years ago.
Some Baron I don't have. Is that what I'm saying? There's some more Baron out there that I didn't know about. See what I'm saying, Mike? You see what I'm saying, bro? The first time I talked to him, Robert, like 5 years ago or something. I mean, first time I talked to him, live.
Yeah.
I was blown away by the amount of different places he has literature in my room. The different boxes that he's in, right? The different he's all over the freaking room, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't know that until I actually met him and started talking to him. First time I hit him up on Facebook to ask him to come out on the show or something, he responded with his phone number, said, "Give me a call, Pops."
See, that's awesome.
And it was like, okay, I like this guy. No texting, no, it's like he'd rather just talk on the phone. Yeah, that's my dude. Been friends ever since. What's up, Gray Wolf? I see you over there in the chat, brother. What's happening?
Cool.
We're just getting started here. We got a big show, guys. We got Robert. We got Nandor Fox Shaffer going to be out here later, and then Ezra Gale, a musician. And Patricky Lugo, friend of mine, so we're gonna be here for 7-ish, maybe, probably something like that. We're gonna be out here for a little while. Is there anything before we dive into the campaign that you'd like the people to know? I'd like the people to get to know who they're looking at backing or whatever. So is there anything that you want to talk about before we dive into that?
Well, just like I said, I've been in the game a while too, and I've got a lot of stuff that's been published, and a lot of content out there for people to enjoy. A lot of science fiction, especially, but also fantasy, mystery, and some comics from DC. And most recently, I've been writing some prose fiction. Some of the backup stories for Ahoy Comics. I love Ahoy. I mean, it's a great company. I love that their satirical edge. I mean, they're like really a unique outfit.
See, you're gonna have to come out and talk about like some of the other more, because that I'm sure a lot of people don't know much about.
Yeah. Well, most recently, Ahoy just added a title written by Garth Ennis. Ooh. So from Preacher and and the Boys fame. So I mean, they're moving up, they're ratcheting up. Not that they had to move up before, but he's a huge name. So I think they're just on the way up.
Yeah, we might have to schedule you again to talk about the other stuff outside the campaign. After the campaign's over, talk about some of the other stuff that you're into. Because
there's always a lot.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's like I'll get to the end of a segment with somebody and I'll check again. I'll be like, is there anything we didn't cover you want to talk about? Because I've been on a show where afterwards you're like, damn, I didn't get to talk about this, or I didn't even get to cover that. And it's like that, you want to make the most of this time. So Levi, you want to pull that thing up? Let's take
through
the campaign, bro.
Go to.
I'm letting him practice. Next week he's going to be in my spot, and I'm going to be over there doing what I always do. But I'm letting him practice because there's going to be times we'll be in the middle of the show, right? Power goes out, or the internet goes down, and you got to have that guy keep the show going.
And share.
There he
live
is.
on the air.
All right.
He's got it, people.
There it is.
Right.
Yep.
So there are 9 days left. What day? This thing ends on the 30th?
Yeah. I wanted to give folks the 31st to not have to worry about it. Because I thought Halloween, people might not be sitting. It might be like, let's go have a party or let's go do something, So I wanted to get this done a day before that.
Well, I was going to say, it's really hard to do a countdown on Halloween, too.
Yeah, exactly.
I know somebody that's ending on Halloween, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I could do a countdown on Halloween. We got 4 kids, neighborhood full of kids running around here.
Pretty busy.
It gets wild. Yep.
Yeah.
Same here. But we hit our funding goal just last night. So
nice.
That's a great thing, and that it just tells me how much support there is out there, and how many people were like really looking forward to this book. And I think there are people who are like excited about it because they know some of these characters or all of them, and they know these creators and they want to see more of their work. But then there's also there are also people who don't know any of this at all, like younger people who are just like kind of new to this particular phase of comic history. They might have heard of some of these, but not really had the whole picture. So this is like a perfect way for them to get, involved and check it out and see this is where it all started. Really, like the indie comics boom, that now is like turned into all these this massive ocean of titles that's out there from everywhere, from every direction. Not just the different publishing companies that we're familiar with, but also all these folks who are publishing through the crowdfunding sites, like Kickstarter, Zoop, Indiegogo, all the folks you've had on your show. I mean, it's just like constant.
It's
and this stuff.
Wild.
This wasn't the way it was before.
It's going to be great. There's only 2 characters on here that I literally don't recognize. Otherwise, they're all characters that I've like, man, I've had that book. I've read several of those books.
Mm-hmm. Well, we added 2 more recent characters because we had some folks who had to step away from the project. So I turned to some friends of mine and said, could you fill in? Your characters are cool. You have some platforms of some size that might help to promote the project. People love your work. So we got the guy with the bandages on his face there, sort of to the left of Mr. Monster. That's Luther Strode, made by Justin Jordan. So it's a more recent comic, and yet it was a smash hit. Illustrated by Trad Moore, who went on to big things for Marvel Comics. Did some Doctor Strange and Silver Surfer and some other things. And the guy on the far right there is El Muerto, who was created by Javier Hernandez.
Those you nailed it. Those are the 2. Yeah.
Had a hide. Well, I'm glad you gave me an excuse to bring them up because they're newer. Not everybody would know them. Like people who jump in because they're like, I love Concrete, I love Grimjack. They might not know these guys.
Everybody, and it's like, man, I have literally read 1 issue at least of everybody that you that's there.
Yeah.
So
they're some of my favorite characters, and Levi, obviously you're familiar with them and some of the background here. I mean, what it was like back then. These were huge characters. Like they just like poof. It was
that was one of the things I was going to say. Everybody over the last few years, there's been a lot of Mike Baron stuff. Anybody who's a Badger fan, there's a new Badger story, guys.
these characters came with a certain street cred. Once you reached a certain age, if you were reading comic books and you weren't reading some of these like Concrete and stuff like that, then you just weren't like a true comic book fan. It didn't seem like it had a certain street cred to it.
It seemed like you weren't paying quite as much attention.
Yeah. Yep.
If you weren't down with, if you didn't know who some of these guys were, you were just a big three or big four guy.
Yeah.
You know, because there's no way to miss these guys once you get out of the big four. You know, and I'm calling Image and Dark Horse, with Marvel and DC, because that's kind of what I look at, like the big four. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they definitely paved the way. I mean, absolutely, these characters and these creators, and really like the brand, maybe the predecessor of most of these is Cerebus the Aardvark down there in the lower right hand corner.
Yes.
Dave Sim, of course, is publishing Cerebus long before the mid '80s period when this sort of took off.
Wasn't that a Malibu?
He did. It was through his own company, Aardvark Vanaheim. And that really is. I remember when I was, I don't know, maybe a teenager, and I was buying like DC and Marvel, and that was really all that I had available. With a couple of other, there were like some funny books out there, from Gold Key or Charlton or whatever, but that was really all that I had to choose from. And then all of a sudden there was like First Comics, Badger, American Flag, just incredible stuff. And then these other, and Grimjack and Sable, and then these other characters just sort of flowed into place as well. And and Cerebus, of course, I discovered before any of these characters. Just, I didn't know comics could be like that. I didn't know they could be so cool. And like the cool thing is too, going back and rereading some of their comics from that time, it helps you to realize just how well they stand up and how good the folks were who created them. Mike Grell and Mike Barron and Paul Chadwick, who created Concrete, Michael T. Gilbert, who did Mr. Monster, and Dave Sim. And I mean, they created some lasting characters there who still have a lot of life and are just like really cool and really different from anything that's on the stands now.
It's been fun for me to watch. Just like you said, there's people who might know Mike Barron from just like all the recent stuff, but don't know anything about Badger. And it's like this might reintroduce some newer comic fans to some older cool characters too.
That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping for sure. And
Levi, do you want to take a stab at playing the trailer?
Sure. Yeah, let me do this.
Okay, now hit it and enlarge it.
To finish the job.
The arrows down in the corner of the screen. Otherwise,
I'm sorry. What's going on?
Hit the arrows across the bar right there.
Yeah.
2 arrows on the other side will enlarge it full screen.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that one.
Read their latest adventures in the new book, Legends of Indie Comics. Just imagine a full house of top indie comic characters reunited in this collection of prose books and tales by the genius creators who first breathed life into them in the 1980s. They blew the lid off.
I don't like caffeine that day.
Well, remember how it was back then. Comic book stores like this one were a rarity. The direct sales market that made them possible was in its infancy. A handful of companies dominated sales, and the books they published, with some exceptions, tended to stay within the lines. Then suddenly, a big bang. New companies exploded into being. Companies like First, Pacific, Eclipse, Dark, Aardvark Vanaheim, Renegade, Vortex. Shelves filled with comics by big talent with great ideas, fresh and innovative content. It was an amazing time for comics. Now, thanks to this book, the excitement lives again. Whether you lovingly remember these heroes and creators or meeting them all for the first time, you'll be in for a heck of a ride with the star-studded lineup. Buckle up for stories of nutcase superhero Badger by Mike Barron, from Barbarians of Koepp and Beyond, Cerebus the Aardvark by Dave Sim, A Man the Mountain, Concrete by Paul Chadwick, a carrot tolerant in a very Dada world, getting carried by Burke, the warrior at the intersection of all realities. Grimjack by Ostrander. Gun for hire. Dealt into the concrete jungle. Unstable Finance by Mike Grell. The most muscle-bound of all time. Megaton Man by Don Simpson. Private Eye. Triggerfinger with an Attitude. Michael Mouse by Joe Staten. Ellen B. Sink. Every Claw and Fang. Mr. Monster by Michael T. Gilbert. Pumped Up by a Mystical Muscle. Beach Ad. He Fight. Ultraviolet War Against Evil. Luther Strode by Justin Jordan. This horse can carry a tune and dance up a storm. Neil the Horse by Catherine Collins. Putting the Misfit in World War II. The Desert Peach by Donna Barr. Dimension Hopping Maniacs Wreaking Mayhem. Those Annoying Post Brothers by Matt Howarth. And Unstoppable Ninja Fighting Crime from the Darkest Shadows. Whisper by Stephen Grant. Resurrected by Ancient Gods to fight the forces of darkness. El Muerto, the Aztec Zombie by Javier Hernandez. These characters are back to finish what they started. To bring some old school indie comics power to the modern age that they helped make possible. Light up your comic book life with a digital, softcover, or hardcover edition. And watch for the mind-blowing stretch goals and add-ons that will make this an even more thrilling adventure. Join the revolution. Back Legends of Indie Comics.
Huh.
Very cool.
Yeah, I did want to make one correction there, and I don't know why the video was playing that particular version because I know I updated it, but Neil the Horse is not part of this project. So
Okay.
I just want to correct that. I didn't mean to imply that it was part of this project.
Okay.
I don't know what happened there. That's weird.
Nice looking trailer.
All right, let's
Thanks.
scroll down. Let's take a look at what we got on this campaign, brother. Back to finish the job. I like that. So yeah, obviously it's not your first book. You've done 5. This is your 5th campaign on Kickstarter. So
Yeah.
you got some credit out here. Let's roll
Thanks.
on through. Let's see what we got. Look, Mike
I
Barron.
forgot to mention that the course. That's like one of the coolest things about the campaign.
Yes.
We're gonna have a course, and like different members of the author team are going to be the instructors. So they're gonna basically have a series of lectures, and hopefully I'm going to get them to answer some questions from the people who are participating. And yeah, it's it's like our high-end reward. So you can back the project, and you can like hear about making indie comics. You can get tips on comics creation from all these folks, including Mike Barron, and almost all the team, almost everybody on the team who could free up the time and was available to do this. So, and in fact, we dropped the price down on the course just recently, so it's actually $150, which is used to be $200. So it's pretty good deal for all these.
I like that idea. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Mike, of course, he does a short writing tips thing on his YouTube channel. He's always willing to answer questions and stuff like that. So, I mean, he's always telling me, Pops, you wrote that wrong. I'll put a post out there or something, and I always get feedback from Mike. Usually it's okay, you get one. You get one, okay? Then you don't get to say nothing else. You get one post, Pops. He's trying to teach me not to get into like social media arguments,
Yeah.
Say your piece and then move on.
Good advice.
Don't care what the response. Don't care what the response is. Don't act like you care what the response is. Say your piece and move on. Okay. Trying to learn how to navigate this stuff.
Hallelujah. Mike is a smart person. Yes.
Yes, dude. Very, very much so. Very, very much. I call him a thinking man's writer.
Yeah.
I'll be reading something by Mike, and let's just say that last Nexus novel.
Yeah.
It's like I'm reading it. I'm having a good time reading it. All of a sudden, I just stop and I go, wait a minute. And I back up like 4 or 5 pages, and I'm like, looking between, yep, that refers back to that. Yep, and it's like he'll make you think. He'll make you go back and reread something to make sure that there wasn't a third meaning there, because there probably was. I mean, he is a thinking man's writer. I love his stuff. But there's other people here. Michael Gilbert, Donna Barr. There's some good stuff here, guys.
Yeah. And
so this tier is $150, and it's so you get a one-on-one. Is it just one session? Is it multiple sessions?
I don't know if it's not exactly one-on-one, but you get to view the video, and you can ask some questions. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a series of interviews with each of these creators who are participating, and then I'm going to edit several of them together for each session. So you'll be like, each session will have a little bit from each of these people, hopefully on a similar theme. That's the whole idea, like whatever, writing a script in general, or continuity or cliffhangers, or what. There's like hundreds of things that we can talk about that people will.
That's kind of a great idea too. It's like you ask them all the same question, you clip that together into one video, and you ask another question, you clip all those answers together in another video, and you can put together quite a seminar.
Yeah,
with that many great people and their input. I mean,
well, if you were to have all these individuals in a room, like at a Comic-Con, you would probably spend more than $150 just to talk to these individuals.
Just to get it 5 minutes, 2 minutes.
Because there's other guys behind you.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. It's a great deal.
And a series, like, if you put together 10 questions, 10 videos, the answers of all these people, their input to 10 different questions, that's $15 a video.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be a hell of a lot of decent and, usable content for a writer. Yeah. That's a lot of input from a lot of great writers. So, if the questions were good,
which they will be, of course.
Yeah. It's one of them, again, garbage in, garbage out things, right? If it's a great question, and then all the answers are going to be like meaty, right? And so, if the questions are right, that's a great idea, even after the Kickstarter, to package those up into a video seminar and sell that.
Well, these folks, they know their stuff too. They've been in the game for a long time, and they've been writing for decades. They're all pros. They're super pros. They've all had really popular creations, and some of them have had lengthy runs on mainstream comics, like Mike. I mean, he wrote a lot of mainstream comics. And by that, I mean DC Comics in particular, and also Marvel. I mean, he's been on both sides there.
Punisher.
Stephen Grant, Mike Grell, they both work for DC Comics.
Yeah. Oh, Mike Grell was one of my all-time favorites, and he's been like a super gentleman and super supportive of the whole project. Mark Verheyen, for example,
that's kind of what happened with me and Mike Baron. It's like, to me, Mike's the first guy that wrote a hero that wasn't a hero, that didn't have no superpowers, that was just a regular guy with a gun or two or five.
He definitely set the tone for Punisher. I mean, he made it he made that character what he is today.
And the only version of him since then that I really liked, the only really version that I liked that Mike didn't write, is the Savage Avengers run.
Oh yeah.
I really like they gave the Punisher back his balls. And you put him with Conan and Elektra and the Wolverine. I mean, you took all the guys that you really can't water down.
Yep.
And you put them in a book together. Great idea.
I agree. That was a very cool series. Yeah, I'm a fan of that for sure.
It's one of the few things written in the last decade that I liked.
Yeah.
By the main two, by the big two.
Oh yeah. But that's in this day and age. I mean, though those two have, they kind of they publish a lot of books. They make a lot of money on movies and merchandising and everything else. I mean, they are undeniably still the two big companies, the dominant forces. But we've got so much else out there to choose from now too, which is it makes it a great time to be a comic fan, unless you want to save some of your money for your retirement, right?
Hey, I got a long box and 2 short boxes of just indie stuff since I started doing this. I mean, there's a lot of good content been put out in the last 4 years, man, that didn't have nothing to do with Big Two. You know what I mean?
We could talk about that for hours. There's so much good stuff out there now. It's
I'm real happy about where it's going. But we're running out of time talking about this, so let's go. Scroll. Let's see what we got, Levi. Show us some art, brother. I know there's some art down here.
Yeah. These are the characters, and their creators. Talking a little bit about each one.
Cerebus, Dave Sims. I love that character too.
Concrete. Yep.
El Muerto.
Yeah, definitely. He's an Aztec zombie, but he's a heroic one. And Flaming Carrot. You guys remember Flaming Carrot, right?
Yes.
Now, hold up. And the guy who played him in the film, wasn't that Fez from that 70s show?
You mean El Muerto?
Yeah.
You remember the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's great. Not everybody remembers. Oh, that's fantastic. Exactly. He was played by Wilmer Valderrama. Yeah, I think I got the pronunciation right on that.
Yeah, that's who it was. It was him. It was Fez, dude, that played. Yeah.
You're right. So some of these have, connections to media and things that people know that they've seen and they just don't know. Like Flaming Carrot, his creator, Bob Burden, created the Mystery Men, who became a movie starring oh my god,
what's his name?
Ben Stiller.
Yeah, Stiller.
Thank you. And William H. Macy and Janine Garofalo and several other people went on to even bigger careers. So there's connections all over the place.
See, when I think of that Stiller guy, only one thing happens. Only one thing comes to mind.
Oh, okay.
Dodgeball, man.
Yeah.
Dodgeball.
That's a great movie.
I don't know if you've seen Laurie's video clip or for people like you, for Kickstarter people.
Oh, okay.
I got to jump in her studio and get it real quick. Hold on. We got. Do you ever get this feeling when you're doing a campaign? Where is it, Laurie? Jeez, way down there. Okay. Do you ever get this feeling, Robert, when you're doing a campaign?
Hold on. I think I'm bleeding. Am I bleeding? Ow! Ow! Nose and lips. Okay. Ow.
Oh, that's rich. I'm glad you put that up because it is worth mentioning because, you talk about a lot of Kickstarters, a lot of crowdfunding on here and on a lot of podcasts and a lot of places online. And not everybody knows just how much of a pain it really is. There's a lot of work involved, man. It is not a faint of heart because it's just like doing like leading up to it, getting the campaign out there. It's like doing one thing after another, and then launching and then running it and then fulfilling it. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So you got to really love that.
Laurie made that after her first campaign, right?
Ah, okay.
And because, they were getting emails from 50 million people on Fiverr and just everything,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
Cancellations, the whole thing. It was like she wanted to make sure it was everything was covered in that video. And it was the first time I saw that, I fell out laughing, dude. It was so funny.
That was good. Thanks for sharing it. I'm glad you did.
It definitely still works. Anybody that's run a campaign knows.
Oh yeah.
Levi's got some fun coming up here too.
Good.
Yeah, May. Yeah, Memorial Day, 2025.
We're going to be playing his trailer here in between segments at the end of your segment, and I might play your trailer again. Try to play it from my end to see if that clear up that.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. That's crazy.
Yeah, I might play yours again at the end of the show just to see if I can get a better, clearer version of the audio. It was kind of messed up. I don't know if that was.
That's technical diffiques. Live. That's like live TV, man.
It's the same everywhere.
Murphy's Law. Anything that can't go wrong will go wrong. Technically, that's for sure. But
we blame Kronk.
We have some cool stretch goals there too. I wanted to mention real quick. We hope to get illustrations to accompany each of the stories, hopefully by the artists who are most associated with the characters. So in some cases, the artist is the same person as the writer, so no problem getting them. But in other cases, we have to track folks down and, pay some money to get this, make it happen. So we're really hoping to hit some of those stretch goals. So I hope people will continue to turn out and support this project so we can make this book even better, because there will be a book. We hit our funding goal. We're going to have at least a text portion of it, but we need some support to get these illustrations as well.
Sweet.
Make sure that we get that in there.
Usually any kind of technical difficulties, anything we have like that, we blame that on Crom, but he's also he's a huge supporter of what you guys do, and he has a little message for everybody too.
Just back it already.
Just back it already, yo. Just click the button. Don't screw around no more. You want it.
He's cool. I like him.
There was a beer vendor at Phoenix International Raceway that you could hear 3 sections down even during the race, and he would be like, you wanted cold beer here, you know what I mean? And you could hear him, he'd be way over there. He wouldn't even be in your section, but he was selling more beer than the guy in your section was. You know what I mean?
I do. That's great.
Race, that's
crazy. The way to do it.
Wow, I can't believe this one tier right here. All editions for $80. So you get a digital, a hardcover, and a soft cover for $80.
Yeah.
Wow. And nobody's
all together.
And it's the soft cover and the hardcover are your most popular ones here. Then this one, how come nobody's backed this one? This one seems like a.
Oh no. Maybe they're just holding out till later in the campaign. That is possible. Sometimes you get a surge toward the end.
Now there may be some people that didn't go far enough down to see that they were both on the same tier, and they just did an add-on thing.
Right. Gotcha.
You know what I mean? That could happen too, where it doesn't actually come out. But you should tell people, hey, if you get it on the tier, it's $5 cheaper or whatever, that way they don't do the add-on thing and they hit them tiers and those numbers go up.
Yeah, we're getting some good backing on the digital crate there, which is going to be cool. We're getting some different odds and ends from the different creators involved in the kicks in the project, in the book. Just things that they have in their files, digital materials, like maybe it's a script that maybe they didn't, hasn't seen the light of day, or maybe it's like an ash can edition, like a digital file of an ash can, or a cover image, or a photo.
Yeah.
Ash cans are something I love. I collect them. I love ash cans. Stretch goal. A stretch goal could be an ash can, just a short, just like the art, of that you get, right? Like that, like the last stretch goal, and then all the art comes in a little ash can.
Well, let me just say that's an awesome idea. And actually that jives with another idea that I'm working on for an additional stretch goal that I hope to get in here. And I might replace the 4th one that's in there now with this other one, if I can make it happen. It involves some other high-end talent that I want to get in there and maybe pull together into an ash can or a small edition or some kind of a bonus book to go with the main book. So you're right on target, man. That's a great idea.
What time does your campaign end on the 30th? Do you know?
Oh man, I forget. I really don't remember.
This could be important because Mike and Jeff do a show at 10 p.m. on Wednesdays. Well, we air it. Usually they do a edited version and we air it. Mm-hmm. But if we can get them to come out and do a countdown, for you. Have Mike
Great.
come out and me and Aaron, we can do a little countdown for you on the 30th. If we could pull it off, I'm willing to do it if we can get Mike, yourself and whatnot. It is that time. No, my friend, is there anything you wanted to cover that we did not?
I just want to say thank you for thinking of me for the countdown. That's very cool. I'll reach out to you if that's, and I'll let you know when it ends.
Yes.
I just wanted to encourage folks to back this. It's the real deal. It's going to be a great book. It is prose fiction. That is true, but it's about these characters whom you haven't read anything about for a long time, for the most part. And they're all together in this book. It's historic. It's history making. It's never happened before. All these characters in the same book at the same time by their original creators. We're going to recapture the magic of that era, which kicked off this whole indie comics revolution in which we are now living and thriving.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool.
Y'all go check this one out, guys. You're not going to get a better collection of writers together. I guarantee you that. This one is definitely top notch. Go check it out. Robert, thanks so much for coming out, man. Like I said, I will try to remember to replay your trailer at the end of the show. Try to remind me, Levi, and I'll pull that up at the end and we'll play it on the way out. Great talking to you again, man. And hey, you never know. Maybe I'll see you in about 9 days.
Likewise. And I've really loved being here. I love your vibe. Very cool.
Good. It's always good talking to you, man.
See ya.
We're gonna play another little one of these trailers that we got here in the background. This one belongs to our lovely co-host, Levi Skeen. Check this out, guys, and be ready when it drops. Yeah. And in the very spirit of what we just watched of old school characters coming back to life, we're going to talk about a new old school type character. What's up, Nandor? What's happening?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's so cool to be here. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Good to see you again, man.
You too, Pops. Yeah, it's great to be back, and I'm excited to talk with you guys today about my new book, and hope you guys have been doing well. Great to meet you, Levi.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
This guy right here, Levi.
Mm-hmm.
This dude was writing serious graphic novels, serious stuff like when he was just a kid, man. Been following Nandor for about 5 years now.
Yeah, it has been. I think we met about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes.
So it's been
one of the first people out on some of the shows.
Yeah.
Seasons, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Got Seasons. Yep. Volumes 1 and 2 are available. They're out. We're going to be actually doing a campaign next year for the trade paperback editions, because I've only ever done hardcovers for the first 2 books. And we're going to do trade paperback editions next year as we get ready for volume 3 next year. So I'm going to be kind of a soft reboot of Seasons, if you will, like bringing it back. It's going to be a big focus next year, but yeah, I've been working on a lot of books. This is my Man-Child. Yeah, Man-Child issue 3 will be my 7th book that will be released.
Nice.
It's kind of neat though. Your seasons, it's like one a year.
Yeah. Yeah, man, believe me, if I could pump out 1 to 150 page books every quarter, wouldn't that be nice? But they're big graphic novels. They're big size, large size books. They're both over 100 pages. Volume 3 is going to be like 150 pages, so it's a big one.
And a deep story, guys. For as young as this dude was when I met him, and that the story was, whoa, this dude's like been in his head for a bit. You know what I mean? And then he turns around and he comes out with what? Man-Child wasn't the second. What'd you do before Man-Child?
Yeah, so I had Seasons, and then I had another book called Lifeline, which is original graphic novel. I worked with 7 different artists from all around the world. I should have it here.
The kid's amazing, guys. You look at that.
So this is Lifeline. It's a 96 page graphic novel. I worked with 7 different artists from all around the world, and they each contributed to a different chapter. But it tells the life story of this character named Lewis, from a young boy to an elderly man, and you see his life through the eyes of different people. And each chapter takes place in a different decade of his life. So it's a straight drama, but it was a experiment, and I wanted to work with so many different artists, and I thought it would be a really cool project to bring all these people together to do something.
What were you, 12 then?
Yeah, I was almost going into high school. No, but yeah, so I have it's exciting, really.
This youngster had all these people's respect, and they wanted to work with him too. It's not just him wanting to work with them, guys. Yeah.
These are Seasons. This is volume 1, and then this is volume 2, and so yeah, this came out a few years ago. And Anthony, the artist, he's been busy doing a lot of different stuff, and I've been busy making Man-Child. And then also my most recent book was The Fabled Offering. So this just came out, and I just got done fulfilling this. It's a 48 page sci-fi fantasy one-shot. So yeah, I've been really, that's really been my goal, is to kind of dip my toes and stretch my muscles, my creativity into different genres, and work on different things, and let people know that, hey, if you want a serious book, you can come to me. If you want something more fun, you can still, read my stuff, and you can still be there. Not everything has to be so heavy, but I hope everything has a lot of, not only is quality, but has a lot of thoughtfulness behind it. And so all of my books, I feel like have that, and if you've read one of my books, you at least know the quality of work that you're going to get. So, and a lot of people have said The Fabled Offering is the best thing I've written so far. So,
really?
I'm very, I had many returning backers who had backed it, and who had sent me messages after they received the book, and they were really, really wowed by it. So that was really encouraging to me, because it was the first time.
I know a couple of fairly new creators that have older guys that showed me their chops in different genres, but you went there right from the beginning. You didn't just come out and do seasons and then do seasons and then do seasons and then do seasons and then move on.
Yeah.
Went, oh, wait a minute, that was cool, but I could do this other cool thing, and I could do this other cool thing, and before you know it, you got 4 different storylines
Exactly.
Running, or
Exactly.
you said one of them's a one shot. I think Lifeline's a one shot too, right? But
It is.
We're going out there and showing that you could cross. I can go over here and do something serious. I can go over here and do something that's really in your head, and man-child is just fun.
Exactly. And I think
let's get that up here.
It was really important for me to show what I can do, because I'm very serious about being a writer. I'm very serious about comics, and I love the medium so much, and it's really a priority of mine to garner different fan bases, and hopefully these fan bases of these different genres will see my work, follow my work, and want to see what else I've done. And there's definitely nothing wrong with, if you're on a series, continuing to provide that series to people. But for me personally, I was thinking about author signings and con tables and things like that. It's like I want people to come to my table and not just find one story. I want people to come to my table and find 4 or 5 different stories that they could get lost in, and that they could see what can this guy do. And I feel like every book that you make, whether you're a writer, an artist, whatever, that's your best business card. That's the best way that you can show other people who might want to hire you, or who you want to work with, or whatever. You can be like, oh, I've done some sci-fi or fantasy. Oh, I've done some supernatural. Oh, I've done some superhero, and so or I've done just slice of life, something really human, I guess you could say. So
I hate to interrupt you, but
you're good.
It's whining by the door. I'm gonna go let out. Levi, you got this for a second, bro?
Yeah.
I'm not letting the puppy pee on the floor.
So go ahead.
Going back to the Lifeline book, I love that concept. You said different artists for different chapters of it.
Yes. Yeah. So, and that book is available on this campaign. So if people back the book, they can get this book as an add-on. But so it follows Lewis Wakefield, and he's just a Midwestern guy, and you get to see each chapter. There's 6 different chapters, six different art styles, and they each capture a different scenario, moment in time that kind of shows his development as just a man, just as a regular dude who cares about his family and cares about not repeating the sins of the past of his parents and things like that. And so chapter 1 is told from the perspective of his father when he's a young boy, when Lewis is a young boy. Chapter 2 is told from the perspective of when he first meets this girl in middle school, who she'll be, come to know as his wife later in the story.
Oh, nice.
And then chapter 3 is his best friend. Chapter 4 is from the perspective of Lewis's daughter. So now that as he has a family, you get to see the kind of father that he is. And then chapter 5 is chapter 5. That one was from a stranger. I thought it was really interesting to have someone who has no ties to him. What would they think of him just interacting with him?
Yeah. An outside perspective.
Yeah. So and there's a lot of different parallels with each chapter, kind of little things that little threads that I feel like were important to kind of weave the reader through and kind of see little tangential like things that are kind of there in the background that they could kind of follow and see. And it was one of those stories that I couldn't, any story that comes to me, I feel like it's bothering me to work on it, not necessarily something that like, like I came up with this great idea. It feels like an idea is nagging at me, where I'm like, I have to see this through.
Get it out to the world.
Yeah. Like, oh man, like I have something to say, right? And so with all my stories,
that idea is like up in the ether, and you're afraid if I don't pull it down and do something with it, maybe somebody else will.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how I feel about all my stories. And I thought, I think it's important in the indie space specifically too, to give customers like a full story, like maybe
Mhm.
maybe they don't want to always come back or wait, 6 months or a year for the next issue and something, and you can give them something complete, yeah, and then
Right.
that they can see that you can tell a beginning, middle, and end, and that will hopefully translate to other books that you're working on, and they can trust that you're a good storyteller, right? So that's something that I feel like is really important. But with Manchild, we got it pulled up here, which is really cool. This is my love letter to the Silver Age of comics and the Marvel Age of comics, but it has a modern day twist to it where you're reading these two stories simultaneously, and you're following the adventures of the Monarch Crier, who is this Monarch Butterfly superhero character, and then you're also following the misadventures, I like to say, of Rufus Boston, who lives in the real world, our world, but he's a huge comic book nerd. And the mystery of the series is how these two stories relate, what their connection is, and it's a commentary on comic book fandom and escapism and like obsession, over being a comic book nerd and loving superheroes, and so what that's like. But yeah, this was birthed from my I was mourning the death of Stan Lee, and I wanted to do something in his honor and kind of give back all of the love and passion and excitement that superheroes and comics have brought me over the years. And I wanted to take that, what's usually a derogatory or insult, man-child. I wanted to kind of take that back and embrace it and make it into something, positive and hopefully compelling for people. So, we're here with issue 3 right now.
It was, do you remember the paper company Canson when they came out with that line of paper for the comic book artists called Fanboy?
No, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, you ready for me to play this trailer, bro?
Sure, yeah, if you want to. It's me talking about the book. So yeah.
Well, I mean, we like to play trailers. What can I tell you?
Yeah, heck yeah. Let's do it.
Here you go.
I'm Nandor Fox Shaffer, the head of Foxhole Comics, and welcome to the world of Manchild. Manchild is a commentary on comic book fandom that is one part Silver Age-inspired superhero adventure following the exploits of the Monarch Crier, and one part slice-of-life dramedy following super nerd Rufus Boston in an alternating narrative. This Kickstarter campaign is to raise funds for the production of issue 3 of the 6-part limited series, and in this installment, we are introducing the Sadistic Six, all new villains within the Manchild universe, while also spending a day with Rufus at Uncle Chester's comic shop on an unexpectedly busy new comic book day. We've successfully funded the first 2 issues, and both are available during this campaign, so you can jump into the series straight away. We're offering a limited edition variant cover by the Winter Soldier co-creator Steve Epting, as well as our first ever collector's gatefold cover, plus many more reward options. Manchild offers everything a superhero comic fan could want, and everything you didn't know you wanted. Embrace your inner man-child and back this book today.
You see that?
Very cool.
You see how they do that, people? I said, back it today.
Back it. Do it.
Just back it already.
Just do it. Just do the thing. Back it. All right. So, I'm going to be the scroll guy this time, and Levi's going to ask questions. Here we go.
It is a beautiful looking book. The Steve Epting. Oh my goodness. That's,
yes.
Yeah. Wow.
That was huge for me. He's my favorite comic book artist of all time. And it was a shot in the dark. It was one of those things that just worked out. I was able to get a hold of him, and he was in between contracts at the time, and he loved the story. I sent him the first 2 issues, and he wanted to do it. He wanted to do a cover for the next issue. So, it's a badass cover. I mean, I love it. It's really something.
It is very cool. Yeah. And who did the wraparound cover?
Yeah, so the wraparound was done by Benjamin W. Morse, and he's done some of my favorite superhero indie books. He did We Are Scarlet Twilight, which is one I'd recommend, and then also he did a sci-fi book called August Purgatory Underground, And he's a writer, artist, letterer. He does it all. He's a fantastic artist. But yeah, this was something I've been wanting to do with one of my books. I was like, I love the gatefold cover, something really big, kind of, go big or go home, right? And so like for me, I was like, I wanted to embrace kind of the more gimmicky side of comics, or what could be a gimmick, right? But it's so exciting. It's so much fun to like get a cover that is 4 covers. Why get 1 cover when you could get 4 covers, right?
Yeah,
it would fold out. Yeah.
If you were mainstream, you would have to beg the editor for this, and here you can just do it yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I want 4.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. And the next cover is done by
Nathan Lorenzana.
Very nice.
Yeah. So a big reason why I wanted to do the gatefold cover, and with this cover, this features 2 of our new characters in the series. And in this issue, we're introducing the Sadistic Six. So these are 6 new villains that we're introducing in this issue 3 here, that are going to be fighting the Monarch Crier. And we're expanding his rogues gallery. They've been for people who haven't read the series so far, the Monarch Crier is imprisoned on this island, and he cannot escape it, and he's been imprisoned by his arch nemesis. But what the Monarch Crier doesn't know is that his villains are actually imprisoned on this island as well, and they're going after him, and so he's going to have to fight them off and survive, all of his rogues gallery to see if he can come out the victor. So these 2 here, this is the Crane and Highness Helen, and they're featured on this cover by Nathan Lorenzana.
The Crane. Oh, I love that. I catch that now. She's even in the crane pose.
She's in the crane pose, right? Yeah.
That's very cool. It seems so far. It seems your stuff has a lot of layers to it, like an onion. Like there's little
I love that analogy. Yeah.
It's very cool. And
I was going to say the Crane is carrying size.
Yes. Yeah.
How does this happen? Are those her claws? I just want to know. Her talons?
Those are basically her claws. Yeah. So
I was hoping she wasn't going to be a villain, because I love size. I actually have 2 right here. They're on my chair. Those are my, somebody comes through the door, that's what you get. If they come in the door upstairs, they get way worse. They come in the door down here,
oh man.
And you can hear this. There's like lines of defense up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was hoping she'd be a good guy, man. What's up? She's a villain. How'd you make her a villain?
Well, I thought it was really important I wanted to keep the focus on the Monarch Crier as our hero, and as the hero that saves the day, and that, we're really focused on his story and what he's going through. And so there really wasn't any room for other heroes at this particular juncture in the story. But I thought it was really important to have, I wanted to kind of run the gamut of archetypes for different characters. And so with the Crane specifically, she's the martial artist, and she's, using her abilities. Not only is she a martial artist, but she can fly. And she has a lot of these really cool backstory, and a lot of great, I love the design that we came up with. There's a really striking nature to her character. And, there's just like, Levi was pointing out, there's layers to all these characters. Not every character is like, oh, all bad, right? Like, every good villain thinks that they're the hero of the story. Right. And that's, what I wanted to kind of bring with all of these characters. But I felt like with her in particular, every character, when you look at the lineup of the Sadistic Six, they each have a different flavor and a different kind of pocket that they fill. And so with the crane, that's where she came from.
Yeah, it's like you were saying, the different the types of characters that you need in a group.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Strong guy, you need the leadership guy, you need the guy with claws, or you need the guy with or the lady with wings, or
yeah.
Oh, she's got Rufus.
Yes. Yeah.
She's got Rufus.
Rufus is at the mercy of Highness Helen on this cover. Yeah.
Oh man, look at that. And this is it a virgin cover?
Yes, it is.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. And then here's your story, third installment, and it's pretty, man. See, I missed number 2. I was in a broke phase.
Yeah. Issues 1 and 2 are available, and all the other variant covers for those issues are available as add-ons. So
I think I got the virgin cover of book 1.
You did, yeah. That was that really cool one by Welby. The orange with all the different butterflies and Monarch Crier. Yeah, I love that cover.
So I will probably at some point when I actually am a little bit fluid try to get all the virgin that you did.
Get the virgin ones, yeah.
Number 3, because however I start, that's I don't go for all the variants, but whatever it like if somebody has an homage cover in their book 1, then I'll probably look for the homage cover when they
that makes sense.
And keep it
it's that collector mindset you got. Yeah.
It just I'm a collector, so however I start a series, that's how I'm going to collect it out. What I mean? It's like, but I mean, this is awesome, dude. $10 for number 3, people. Cover A.
You beat me to it. I was going to mention that $10. That's a very good price range.
Yeah, 28 pages. $10 for cover A. As we get to the other variants, it's a little bit more, but at the baseline, I really want all my books, to be affordable, for people to be able to just like, hey, I want the book, even if you don't want the physical, you can get a PDF for $5 and you can get a PDF bundle, issues 1, 2, and 3 for $15, so you can catch up on the series just like straight away.
This is your cover A.
Yes.
And is who does the interior art? Is that Jay too?
Yeah, that's Jay.
Okay.
So he does all of the cover A. So he did the cover A for issues 1 and 2.
As it should be. Very good.
Yes.
See,
yeah.
I know you. You get it. You understand how this is supposed to work, right?
Yeah. You gotta variants can vary on what kind of styles you show, but cover A should be the interior, right? It should be what the book looks like on the inside.
Right. Very nice. I like it. I'm glad that you did that. And there's Rufus, guys. There's Rufus.
Yeah, so this is such an exciting issue. This is like my favorite issue of the series so far because Rufus is volunteering at his LCS, and he is not prepared for how busy it's going to be today on New Comic Book Day. And the title of this issue is called Wednesday Warrior. So tragedy strikes Rufus in this issue. It's a emotional, impactful issue for him, and so he's going to be going through something here that while he's working at the comic book shop, that I think a lot of people, you'll see, like I took all my experience from visiting different stores, meeting different comic book fans, all that kind of stuff, and Rufus, has to deal with all these different types of fans because we vary. Some of us are very temperamental, some of us are very like, hey, I said I wanted that on my pull list, why wasn't it on there, and things like that. So Rufus is going to have to be the customer service person and hold down the fort here at his LCS. So it was not only is it, I think, one of the most like fun issues that we've done with him, but there's a lot of relatability to his character and the kind of conversations that he has with his friends and other people. And so we'll see that, in the spotlight here with this issue too.
There's there was a store here over in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho that we used to do the same event every year for it, Free Comic Book Day. And the last year we did it, the store had sold to a new owner. And the previous owner was a guy with years in the industry, and he was well prepared for Free Comic Book Day. And he hired us to come in, do free sketches, and he'd pay us in stacks of comic books and pizza. And
nice.
In the very first month that the new guy bought the store, it was Free Comic Book Day that month. And when the group of us showed up, there was 4 or 5 of us showing up to draw sketches and stuff. He was the only one there. And I was like, so where's the rest of your employees? And he's like, no, I'll handle it.
Oh no. Not gonna be good.
It was not a good day for him.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Do not work the store.
And I know you, Levi, you jumped up and helped him out, didn't you?
I did a little bit, yeah, because there was nobody there. Like, yeah, you need some sort of traffic director to tell you.
Yeah. Nandor, I have a idea request.
Okay.
I want to interview Rufus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a show called What's Your Issue? And I'd like to interview Rufus. Do you have somebody that voices Rufus?
I don't.
About that?
I don't. I have, but that's a cool idea. No, that's not something I've ever been. Yeah, I've never thought about that before.
As a network, as a guy trying to come up with ideas for shows, we recently came up. A show was designed in the network, built by 2 RPG characters.
Oh.
We do a show called Killer Karen, wherein you're interviewed by Karen Needlemeyer and Dante Sinferno, who were characters that were created in the Slaughterville game, and they just kind of took on a life of their own. And now we have a show where we interview people, but we're in character. We're not Laurie and Pops.
Yeah.
We're Dante and Karen. You see what I'm saying? So it goes like off the rails really bad. But I just had this idea of switching that around, and how cool would it be if I could interview a character?
Yeah, like interview characters from different people's books. That'd be kind of cool.
Are you with me, Levi? Are you with me? Are you feeling the wheels turning right here?
I am. I'm thinking though that this is perfectly set up for the writer. I mean, you have to have this individual's going through your head as you're writing it, right?
Yeah. Their mind state, right? Yeah.
I mean, you just put an avatar of him up.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
Like our avatars, right? Okay.
And change your voice a little bit.
And go into character as Rufus, if you're interested in doing something like that, I'm thinking of, look, show ideas are show ideas. And if there's shows that are nobody else is doing anything like it.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
No, that's a cool idea. I like that.
The box. So if you're willing, I'd like you to be the first guest on a new show. We won't even use What's Your Issue for that. We'll come up with a new name for it and everything, and you would be our first guest on a pre-made show on the network.
Yeah. Well, yeah, let me know, and we can see what we can do.
Well, start thinking now, how you want to sound.
Yeah.
Figure out which panel picture of him would be the best one for your avatar. Start thinking about it now, because I'm one of them people that doesn't backburn stuff.
Yeah.
If I come up with an idea, I want to get it out there and see how it works.
Totally.
We also would really like to interview you on Killer Karen, but you're going to have to go watch that show. Mm-hmm. And see what it's all about before you commit to that one.
Okay.
Yes. Requirement. Yeah.
It's good stuff. But look, you're the perfect kind of guest for these kind of shows, man. You're young. You understand. Look, at your age, for you to understand the promotional side of this and everything and handle it the way you have, dude. I got nothing but room for you whenever we're doing something.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Please,
that means a lot.
Explain to me the villain right there with the tie. That is a great design. Absolutely great.
Yeah. So that is the main arch nemesis of the Monarch Crier, and his name is Professor Pilgrim. And he is kind of our Doctor Doom-esque type character, and he has created this entire scenario. He's a mastermind, and he's created this entire scenario to take the Monarch Crier from New York City, bring him to his island, and have him fend for himself, because he is making the Monarch Crier. He's basically putting him through different trials and tribulations and trying to shatter him, trying to shatter his soul and his spirit and crush him before he, ends his life. So he's playing all these games with him, and trying to finally destroy, his arch nemesis, which is the Monarch Crier. So, he's been in issues 1 and 2, and in this issue, not only has he imprisoned Monarch Crier on this island, but he took all of his villains, all of the other villains, and took them on, imprisoned them here, and he is asking them to take on the Monarch Crier and bring the Monarch Crier to him, but because the only way that any of them can get free is if they win, so they have to be the ones to do it, but only one of them can win, right? So only one of them can be set free. So it sets the motivation for all the characters to, okay, who's going to be the one to reach Monarch Crier first? Who's going to be the one to take the Monarch Crier out? And who's going to be the one to, be the champion of Canaan, which is the island's name.
Gotcha. Nice little competition between bad guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and that's not going to end well, right?
No,
it's
like
they're ruthless. So.
Let the backstabbing ensue.
Yeah. No kidding.
So how many tiers do you have on this?
I have quite a few, but most of them are all book oriented, book centered. But we have the other variant covers. We have the ability to get your name in the back of the book and get an exclusive Kickstarter art print that features all the Sadistic Six. And you can get, there's also a tier to get drawn into the story. So you can, maybe you want to be someone in the comic book shop, right? Or someone who interacts with Rufus at the comic book shop, or if you want to be.
Could you put stipulations on it? Like, if I'm in the comic book shop, you have to draw me in the Marvel section, not the DC section.
Yeah, totally. That would be, I wouldn't expect anything less, but we do have a retailer bundle. So any retailers who want to pick up the book and get it at a wholesale cost, you can get it there. And you can also get issues 1 and 2. This is something that my LCS requested of me, and other stores that I've worked with have wanted, retailer tiers and things like that. So that's really cool.
Gotcha.
But then what else do I have? Drawn into the store, you can also get an original sketch by Jay Mazar, the series artist. So if you want him to draw one of the Sadistic Six or Monarch Crier, or even an established character, like Spider-Man or Daredevil, whoever. And then you can also get an original page as well. So,
very cool.
There's a lot of different price points, and these seem to be my most popular tiers, and what I think are kind of good, solid additions to what people are kind of excited about. But it's
tiers that work.
Yeah, and that makes sense. That fit with the theme, fit with the kind of story that it is. And we do have some stretch goals that I'm really excited about. And like we have a trading card set for the Sadistic Six, and we have a sticker sheet, and then the very last stretch goal is to get a Man-Child T-shirt. So that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, very cool. Do you have plans for the artwork on that one?
Yeah, we have a little prototype. It's at the very bottom of the campaign page, but so whenever Pops gets to it, but
gotcha.
But yeah, and we do have one for all the covers. So if you can't make a decision and you're like, hey, Like, I want to get all these covers, so you can get the gatefold, you can get the Steve Epting, and you can get the Virgin variant, or the cover A and the Nathan Lorenzana cover, so you can get all those in one go.
All 6 comics, and technically 10 covers, right? If the four gatefold.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah,
very cool stuff.
Yeah, so you can get all the previous issues and all the previous issue covers. So that's the one that Pop's got. Yeah, that one right there. So you got cover B for issue 1. And I've worked with Welby, I've worked with Tom Riley, who's doing the new G.I. Joe book at Image. Nick Pitara, who worked with Jonathan Hickman on the Manhattan projects, and
that's a great cover,
book. Yeah, Axe Wielder John. Tony Harris, who worked on Starman, and Ex Machina with Brian K. Vaughan. Also Marco Rudy, who worked on some stuff for DC during the New 52. He did some Swamp Thing. He did some Winter Soldier stuff.
You have been a networking machine to get all these things in here.
Yeah, and then Jim Rugg.
Levi, this kid came out strong, bro.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah. So yeah, I love comics. What can I say? And I really respect the creators, and I really respect what people are able to do. And they've changed me, like making comics has changed me. Making comics has changed the directory of, my life and what I want to do, would be a writer and all these types of things. And, the least I can do. And, as a fan, it's like, I want to work with these people, right? Like, I'm excited to work with these people. And,
look, son, there's only supposed to be one Virgin cover for each book. 3 right there.
Oh, 3. Wow.
You can make me choose now. See, how am I supposed to choose, man?
You gotta get out 3.
It was real easy if it just didn't have no words on it. Okay, that's the one. But now you got 3. Look, now I got it back. I'm back out to choose again.
So we are on a Kickstarter campaign here. Do you have any future plans for a Fund My Comic campaign at all?
Yeah, I've thought about it before, and I've seen more and more creators using the platform. So I feel like it's definitely, at first I was kind of worried if it would bring enough traction or have enough traction on the platform. But it seems like a lot more people have been going over there and enjoy it, and I've heard really good things about it. So
the best part for somebody like you have backstock of other books. You have other books, and you can set up a storefront, like
for
just
all
a straight storefront with all the stuff you have for sale, right? And run a campaign separately or not, or run your regular campaign on Kickstarter. You could still have a storefront,
a landing page for people.
On my comic all the time.
Right.
That's what I would set up a storefront there and just keep doing what I do everywhere else too. But I would always have a place where people.
Yeah, if someone asks me where can I buy your stuff, it's like, oh, just go right here. Get everything.
Simple, man. All your back issues, all your other books, everything, your merch, anything that you have a box of that you want.
Yeah, let's get this out of here.
It's that simple, man.
That's
the main thing I encourage about the platform. I mean, it's cheaper. It's made by comic people. They listen to.
Yeah, and I know the percentage is considerably less too.
There's no AI crap. I mean, you're talking to a human when you set your campaign up. A human approves your campaign. There ain't no worry about somebody getting you pulled down or any of that crap, right? It's comic people. They understand what we're doing because they do it.
Yeah.
That's what makes it a good, no lawn chairs. Kickstarter and Indiegogo, they sell everything, aquarium lights and
right.
A platform that's just for comic people that was needed, just for comics. But yeah, it's good stuff, man. You got it all going on here,
Hey.
Junior.
It's a great looking campaign, and you are so close to being funded on this.
I know we got like 8 days left, and we have like just a little over 900 to go. So I know I have probably like over 200 followers on the campaign. So I know people are probably waiting till the end to back. But
Right.
I encourage everyone to, back it as soon as possible so we can unlock some stretch goals. And, we can get to 100 backers. That's been a big goal of mine. We're almost there. We're only 9 backers away.
Okay, look, this one ends on the 29th. Do you know what time of day?
Yeah, it's around this time. It's
5:30,
like
5:30 Eastern.
Yeah.
What it says.
See, now we can do a countdown for you that day if you want. Come out an hour earlier and hang out for the last hour.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm not going to try and mess with it now, but send me a message so I'll have something in my inbox so that it'll remind me, and I'll go set it up. 4:30 Eastern, come out an hour before it ends.
All right. Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Cool. All right, brother. We got you. Watch out for it. Countdown right here for man-child number 3, people. As always, my friend, it's great to see you. Is there anything you want to say that we did not cover?
Well, I just I think we covered everything, but I just want to encourage everyone who might be watching or catches this on the replay, to back the book if you see this, and ask anyone in the indie comics community. I fulfilled all my campaigns. This is my 7th campaign, and I've been making comics for a few years now. I know what I'm doing. I'm really passionate about what I'm creating, and I promise you, all of my books are not predictable. They're, the quality's there and the storytelling's there. And if you're looking for something that you can really sink your teeth into, and that sticks with you, that's what you'll get with Man-Child and my other books as well.
You get it with all his books, and they're all different, and that's what's cool about it. So go check out what Nandor's doing. Don't forget on your way out, drop your link. Do you have like a link tree or something like that?
I do. Yeah, okay. I can do that for sure.
Drop that in the chat over on the YouTube channel so people can find all your stuff, right?
Yeah,
all your socials. As always, Nandor, it's great to see you. I'll see you in about 8 days, brother.
All right, man. Sounds like a plan. Thank you for having me again.
You bet. Anytime,
nice
man.
You, man.
Anytime
yeah, you too, Levi.
Even if it's just to hang out.
Okay.
You're always welcome to pop into a show. Man, just hit me up.
Excellent.
We're going to play another ad in between this segment and the next. Our next guest is in the back. Guests are in the backstage area. So check this one out, people, because these are friends of ours too. And Nandor, I will see you soon, my friend.
All right. See you later. Thank you, guys.
Peace. I got to cover me up for a minute. Do I got anything big enough to cover us up? Probably not, but we'll try. Oh, here we go. We're going to play this one. No, we're going to play that one.
Who am I, you ask? I was created in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by the waste of a dying world. I was bestowed with an insurmountable task: bring peace after decades of death, persecution, and chaos. I am a grandchild of war, destined to help two camps which hate has fueled for far too long. Surprisingly, I am not alone. Have an odd bunch to make the road a little more bearable. Come with me to bring hope where there was despair, respect where there was resentment, creativity where there was destruction. I am Pinocchio, and this is my story.
So, look, today has been pretty awesome. It's been returning guest day. Everybody that's come out here today is somebody that's been out here before, but I ain't seen them in a bit. So we're going to continue that. What is up, Master Lugo? What's happening?
What up, Pops? Great to meet you, Levi.
Nice to meet you, Patrick.
It's a great pleasure.
Action. It's good to meet you. You got somebody with you that you're building some new stuff with. I ain't going to make him wait back there. Introduce your friend, my friend.
This is the remarkably talented Ezra Gale, the lead man to a plethora of musical endeavors, bands. He's traveled the world. He has been a major contestant in some Bay Area smooth-offs for those who are musically inclined.
Oh, no. Yeah. I thought that was lost to history, but I guess
the memory runs deep.
Oh, no.
Oh, is he a blues guy? Does he got it in him?
I'll let you ask that question directly to Ezra himself. Yeah, I mean, you could see just a small selection of instruments behind him that he's mastered.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm really excited to bring him to you because not only is he a musician, but he's also a bit of a comic fan from the old school. We've had long conversations about God Loves, Man Kills, and other, seminal works. So, but, we could tell you stories, some of which we'll have to wait till after the stream, for...
Oh, well,
for legal reasons, let's say.
It's been a while. We do have a little catch up to do. I'm sure.
Well, the colorful life of a musician is all wrapped up into one right there.
I think Patrick was there on some of the more colorful nights, like a few New Year's Eves ago, like many New Year's Eves ago.
The lost years of yore.
Yeah.
That's like the time when we lived out what everybody thinks musicians do all the time. Like normally we just schlep our stuff to the gig and back home. Very, very occasionally we do what everybody thinks we do, which is like, party till dawn and throw chairs out in the yard because it seems fun.
As long as there's a swimming pool to catch it, right?
Yes.
We don't want to break the chair. We just want to throw it out the window.
Right.
Well, I mean, I think in this particular incident, we were close enough to the coast.
Yeah, we were. It would have been the Pacific Ocean that would have caught the chairs, I think.
And then the waves just push it right back up. We put it back where it was. Nothing happened. Don't know.
Wood floats, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're not here to talk about breaking furniture. We're trying to be more additive, right? We're trying to add something to people's lives, and so that's why we're coming here to bring to you guys, right? Is a project that Ezra and I have been working on, kind of really low key for a couple of years. In fact, we ended up realizing it was such an ambitious project that we had to launch another project ahead of it, just to see if the concept was workable.
That's true.
And then we turned around and started this one. So it's been a wild story, which we're glad to share. But I think we should let Ezra have a few words because me, I'll talk your ear off until the sun sets.
No, I mean Patrick can tell you all about it too. But yeah, it's a rock opera that's going to be on a double vinyl album with a graphic novel. And this is our kind of second pass at this idea of combining music and comics. We did a double album comic book called The Ear Goggle. I record as The Ear Goggle, and we did The Ear Goggle Regales, The Ear Goggle Revels. Wait a minute, I have a copy right here.
So the key thing about this project was that it
just happens to be sitting here. But see, this was the last one, so it came like this.
Wait a minute, show me that cover again. I've talked to you before.
Yeah. We were on here. When this album came out, and then this is the comic that came with it, and it basically goes through every song. The text in the comic is the lyrics to each song, so it's kind of like, I don't know. It was kind of inspired when I was little. I had all those first I had Disney albums and stuff where they came with the book, and it's like the little chime of like, okay, time to turn the page, And so we did this album, and it was a normal double album, and it was like I think 17 of my songs, each one of which was different. There was no connection, and there were different artists for each one. Patrick did an incredible one. All these artists from all over the world did them. But then through this whole time, we've been working on this other idea. I've been working on this rock opera. So it's like a one story through the whole thing, same characters. And this time we're doing Patrick and one of the other incredible artists, Luis Santamarina, who's from Argentina. They teamed up on the graphic novel portion to tell this story in a comic form. So, you know, the idea is you can listen to the record and follow along in the graphic novel. You know, hopefully it works either way. You could read the graphic novel and it'll still make sense. You could just listen to the music, you know. But hopefully we're trying to bring those together, you know.
Yeah, this guy's always thinking a little bit outside the box when he does something. He adds something to it or puts a twist on it to make it, you know, stand out a little bit different, right? I mean, man.
When I first looked into this, it sent me down 3 different rabbit holes. It sent me down the old school Star Wars, you know, record. You know, your R2D2 will tell you to turn the page when he makes this sound.
I think I had that one. I had that one. Yeah.
Yeah. It was, oh my goodness. And then just the whole rock opera thing, everything from Sabotage to The Who to Operation Mindcrime. And then, oh my goodness, what was the third one? I'm blanking.
There's a billion. The Pretty Things, Willie Nelson. I mean, there's so many good ones.
Yeah.
The difficulty in the third one was Coma by Guns N' Roses. The difficulty of writing a song which doesn't consistently have, you know, that hook to it to bring it back. Like everybody knows that line or that sectional line in that song, but do they know the whole song?
Have you seen the video of the graphic novel version of Rush's 2112?
No.
They play the music and they have panel for panel. They're telling that story. That whole side of that album, somebody drew it out, and it's on YouTube. You can see it. It is, dude. If this is anything like that, it's going to be badass. People, you better get on board.
I mean, that's the idea. You know, there's a whole like mini move. I wouldn't call it a movement, but there's a couple labels that are doing this. Mostly it's been old, you know, classic albums like 2112. I saw it. There's an Anthrax one. There's a Tori Amos album that have been done by, you know, with the graphic novel format. They're like reissuing the albums with the graphic novel. So this is like that, except this is a new work. It was written, you know, specifically to be told as a graphic novel also. So, you know, but hopefully it works either way.
I mean, that was one of the key challenges, right? Was because like Ezra would give me the music and he would give me like the lyrics, but then he would kind of sit down and explain like, where's he coming from? What is he trying to say? What's behind the story? So that I would then listen to the music and try and capture like that vibe, and then not just tell the story, like, you know, translate it comic for comic, but really try and convey the like, you know, the magic that comics does, where it doesn't have to be like a movie. It doesn't have to just be like showing what's in front of you, right? It could be like the internal can be external with a comic. You can get crazy with colors and styles. So I wanted to try and bring all of those influences in. And so what I ended up doing was going through these rabbit holes, like what you said, Levi, and I would like try and figure out some other like associations that each song would bring to me. And then I would try and look, you know, I would look through old concert posters. I would look through like my art history books and try and capture certain bits of artwork and like use that all to kind of sit behind the artwork, if that makes any sense. You know, so for those people who be reading a page, they might like get ideas of like some concert they've been to, or some movie they've seen, or some like, you know, some museum trip. And that might be because I kind of use some of those pieces, you know, some of those posters or paintings to kind of like inform some of the composition for like a background scene or for a foreground scene, to kind of do like what music does, but on the page.
For future reference, for the future, I'm going to throw some great reference books at you for stuff like that. The Time Decade in Rock. photos from dozens of concerts, big concerts, little concerts, everybody. It's Time magazine, but they'll cover a whole decade of music, right? And stories, from famous concerts, from concerts where things happen that don't normally happen at concerts, all the standout stuff from a whole decade. A lot of research material there for stuff like this.
Yeah. Well, I could, if only we had another year, but
how long is
the 45
there's going to be another one, bro. You know it.
Oh, yeah. There's always something cooking.
For the future.
But one thing I wanted to do, right? Like we were originally planning on going live tomorrow, October 22nd. But because of this opportunity, right, I told Ezra, let's do it like live right now. So if you're looking at the screen, you say, you'll see notify me on launch. But what I'm hoping Ezra will do, if he's got his finger ready, he could.
I got my finger ready. All
right. So yeah, is this your bass playing finger? I'm not sure how that works.
Wait a minute. Are you gonna do this right now?
Yes, we are gonna kick this campaign live right now, so that
you should have told me. We could have promoted it as a launch party, bro.
It's a surprise.
Well,
surprise launch party.
It's that punk rock aesthetic. We just kind of got to do things. It was either this or start throwing chairs. We
call it a ninja launch.
That's right. Yeah.
Nobody knew it was coming. Bam.
That's right.
I mean, me and my relationship to ninjas. So.
Yes, that's look, guys. Oh yeah. If you didn't know, he's a martial artist of utmost skill too. So yeah. You heard me at the beginning of the show. I called him Master Lugo. I didn't like get yes.
And he is.
I know who I'm talking to.
That's right.
Right. Well, pops from one master to another. You know how it goes.
You know it. This is awesome, everybody.
Yeah.
This thing is launching right now. We're going to get to look at all the tiers. We're going to get to look at everything that you were going.
Yeah,
it's cool. I hope I remember to look at it when it launches. You're here.
Now you can do it. It's there.
I think if you hit refresh, is that what we need to do?
If you hit refresh, it'll be there. But
I have to hit refresh. Yeah, I have to. Here we go.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, to pick up on what Patrick was just talking about, though, I would send him these songs, these recordings, and then we would talk a little bit about what it is, and I would send him the lyrics, and then he would come back. This stuff would just arrive, back in my inbox, and just these fantastical panels with stuff that I never would have dreamed up myself. It was so much better doing it this way and leaving it to him. And Luis, also the other artist, was the same way. I didn't want to give them like a tight script of like, here's this shot, hit the, because that's not me. I'm not the artist, and I trust these guys. They're both incredible. And he would put things in that were totally in the song, but that I wouldn't have thought to bring out as in the art as a visual representation. He did this one. There's a song called "I'll Never Get Lonely with You," which is when the part of the opera happens on cassette because the main character, is listening to the cassettes that his mom and dad made long ago, and he's listening to one of his dad singing, and his dad is realizing that his wife, that the mom, was into some shady business, and she's being followed everywhere by these shady guys. And so he came back with this panel of, it was a riff on the Seurat painting, the Sunday in the Park with George or whatever. But it had all these like Matrix looking guys with their earpieces, and and it was perfect. It was like paranoid and yet whimsical at the same time. And I never in a million years would have said, okay, here's what we're going to do, but he brought his own style to it, and it just came off, it's so much more than what I could have done by myself, which is the whole great thing about collaboration, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I tried to kind of create new styles specifically for this project because there was so much that I wanted to do. And I had like, my biggest constraint, I had limited pages because it was like a musical sequence, so like a music video, you got to get it all in, so like knowing that I had limited pages to work with, I wanted to like go deeper into it. And so sometimes that meant me just redoing the way I normally do things so that I could like add these extra digital layers and, you know, work it on Photoshop on one computer, send it to my other computer where I could do Clip Studio Pro and back and forth, and then, you know, doing stuff on analog and then scanning that in to kind of give it that sense of handmade feel. You know, I mean, I've got some old tape things still floating around, just trying to kind of capture that feeling. And so, like, the thing I like to describe it as is almost like a punk rock version of Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Because like everyone saw Guardians of the Galaxy, and you know how like Peter Quill gets to know his mom through the soundtrack, and then we get to experience that emotional journey. So we're kind of trying to do that, wherein our main character, the kid, is trying to learn about his mom through these mixtapes. But the thing is that these are all original pieces, right? So we're like dialing specifically into the story in the music as well as on the page.
This is super cool. It's you can definitely tell it's a passion project. How long did it take you to accomplish this?
Boy, that's a good question. I mean, the really genesis of the idea, I think for me, like musically, when I started thinking about it, was probably like, I don't know, man, 2017 or 18, I think. But I wasn't like, once the concept started to take shape and I was trying to connect all these songs and I was thinking about a visual kind of aspect to it. I don't think I reached out to Patrick, and I don't know when that was, like.
Well, okay, so this was the thing. It was maybe around 2021.
Yeah, maybe
it was a mutual friend of ours, Michael McLean, drummer, you know, excellent multifaceted percussionist. But he just basically forwarded me this little Facebook post that Ezra did saying, "Anybody know any comic artists? I'm thinking of doing this project."
That's right.
You know? And then so I just kind of, you know, I caught that wind. And I was like, I know Ezra, but maybe he doesn't remember. You know, it was a couple of years back. So I reached out to all of the other musician friends that he and I know, right? Because I've done record album covers, I've done CD covers, you know, and so I've kept in touch with a lot of my musical friends. And so I kind of was just like, hey, Ezra's doing this project, get me connected with him, you know. Oh, you know Ezra too. You know, I just made sure that everyone was talking to him about me, you know. But it turned out he remembered. He remembered, you know. So we got together and started talking, and I've just been chipping at these pieces, you know, in between everything else.
Right? Yeah, I would say the first couple years, I think we were doing this. We were doing it, but it was a slow burn, you know. I think in the last year, you know, at a certain point, we brought Luis on board because it made sense for the story, because the story happens in the present and the past kind of simultaneously. And so it made sense to have two different artists with two different styles to sort of tell the story. Like one of them, Patrick is in the past because I'm
doing the same thing on my book. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, his songs are the songs they're listening to on the cassettes that the kid is listening to, and then that Luis is doing in the present day story, and then they kind of come together at the end or whatever. But like, so I think once we added Luis and started thinking about it like this, then it really started to pick up momentum, and that was probably within the last year, really, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Luis is a machine. It's just amazing how
he cranks them out.
He can turn around artwork, and always, like, the quality is always at the top.
It's incredible. Yeah, I think you can see some of it there. I don't know if you can play one of those videos and you can hear some of the music, but
I definitely plan on playing some of the music. I got the triangle on YouTube.
Oh, nice.
I got that queued up, ready to go when we get there. But I want to play this trailer because it's showing some of the art and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Let's give this one a play.
I'm not understanding yet the way the sun so quickly sets. All the colors bleed to darkness again. Like the colors in my mind makes it hard to leave behind the thought of you just smiling again. I know you can see me, I know. Even when you stood behind, watching over, even when you took your grip away. And all those times when you went missing, all those times when I was missing, I think back to when you gone. You and Dad left me alone while you're out inciting riots again. While the canisters explode, close your eyes, don't breathe it in. All your words ring in my eardrums again. I know it's for us, yeah, I know, because you told me every time. Stumbling home with the cloth pressed against your face so tight. And all those times when you went missing, all those times when I was missing. In my head, you didn't find even say.
You're muted, Pops. Hang on.
There we are.
Just throw muted, Pops.
I got to bring it up all over again.
There we go.
Sorry, that was my fault. So another, when I listened to that song, the first thing that popped in my head is an old band, not an old band, but Kirby Crackle. Have you ever heard of that band?
No, I have not.
They do nerd rock.
Okay.
So, and I had to go find your singer that you're using. I'm like, this guy sounds exactly like Kirby Crackle.
Funny.
Yeah. And that was another one. I went and found some Kirby Crackle on YouTube and was listening to it today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's the panel I was talking about before with the that Patrick did. That one, yeah, that one. I'll never get lonely with you. I'll never be lonely with you. Yeah. Yeah, I got to check. I don't think this is that guy. This Forrest Van Dyke is his name.
No.
Yeah. The parts of he sings the main character, who we call the teen. Yeah. So I don't think he's been in that band, but
no, it wasn't. It wasn't the same band. It wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just had that nice poppy vibe to it. You know.
Cool.
You're just yeah. This is the type of music I would have had in the CD player taking my kids to Comic-Con.
Cool. Well, hopefully you can still do that. We don't have CDs, but we're gonna have cassettes because I don't know if your car is old enough to have a cassette player. Probably not, but hopefully not. Yeah. But we are offering those as one thing, just because so much of the story happens on cassette. We figured, we've got to at least offer this.
Right. That is cool. Yeah.
So
I did get a Walkman for Christmas, so that way I'm able to listen to all my tapes.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been on a Cheap Trick bender this week. So,
ooh, nice. Those sound good on cassettes for sure.
Oh, yeah, I was a little disappointed. I slipped in one-on-one, and it was all garbly.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
I got my son a little boombox for Christmas last year, and he's been like carrying it around the house playing his AC/DC tapes. It's awesome. But so I get him some new tapes down at the record store. Not new, of course, used, and it's a crapshoot. It's like 1 out of every 3 you put it in, it's just like,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, this is not how it listens. Not how it sounds.
I had to check the batteries real quick. Is it even tape? Well, no. It's like, it's just 40 years old.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
That is an awesome panel up there, man.
So yeah, that's a double page spread. I designed these things so that when you open it up, you can just kind of fall into the page. And and that one, like I said, that was just one specific. Like I said, I was trying to make each song have its own vibe. But then the big challenge, which we're really like steamrolled into towards the end of the project, right, is that like any good musical, right, the big dramatic ending has got to have everyone singing. So at that point, what we did was Luis and I. Oh, that's such a good song. I had such a great time doing that track too.
This one?
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah,
we will play it for sure then.
Right.
That's what I do. I want the guest to be happy. guys, this is amazing. I do gotta ask though, what kind of like what kind of cost goes into getting vinyl?
Yeah, it's not cheap. I mean, that's hence the Kickstarter, really. I mean, we could put this out digitally, and we will if things don't work out with the Kickstarter. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but like we'll put it out digitally, and that's close to free, whatever. But it's much less cool. Vinyl's not cheap, for sure, but it's so cool that and especially for a project like this, which just really needs to kind of exist as a physical thing, like with the we have reward tiers. Of course, not everybody has a record player, so you can get the download of the music and you can get the graphic novel. You can get a PDF if you want, but or you can get it as a physical novel and whatever. But hopefully enough people want to experience it in that way. I mean, I love records. I never gave up on records. I love how they sound, but I also just love like holding them in my hands. I love looking at the liner notes. I love just like having a thing that I remember which is side A and which is side B, that kind of thing, and so to me that's kind of what this is all about, is like helping it become this physical entity, really. That's kind of what I'm into about this. So yeah, the cost is not cheap, but it's going to be worth it.
Well, as a record, it'll fit right into anybody that's collecting this sort of thing already. There's nothing worse than like having something that doesn't fit into your collection, right? That oddball size that won't fit in the rest of the box with everything else. You're like, now what do I do with it?
Yeah.
So
we've all got a record shelf. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So how many songs are there?
There's 16 songs. So it's,
did you think of pressing a CD too?
I mean, we could, but I know from playing when I play live with bands, of course we used to do an album and we used to press CDs, and nobody has a CD player anymore. I mean, like I listen to my car. I have a CD player. I know some people do, but like
everybody has one if they got a PlayStation or an Xbox.
Well, true.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, you don't need to buy a CD player anymore.
Yeah, no, that's true. You don't need a dedicated CD player. But I just mean that's like my experience of playing gigs and selling merch at shows. Nobody buys the CDs anymore. I mean, I'm like very rarely somebody will come up, and I've got like boxes of these CDs from bands of mine that are just sitting in my basement because like nobody really wants one anymore. I mean, some people do, but not much.
I think people forget that they can actually play their CDs.
Yeah,
right?
I think you might be right about that, because a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't have a CD player."
I don't know a lot of people that have a decent turntable.
Yeah, well,
you see what I'm saying? It's like I'm wondering if you limit yourself to only people who have a turntable are going to buy that. But if you also offered a CD, like people like me who has a PlayStation 4 right here that pretty much I don't use for much, but
right.
Music on it, I can play movies on it, and it's like I can play games on it. That's what it is. It's a little console that does everything, right?
Well, Pops, that's why these ninja launches are so essential, right? Because we get the valuable wisdom from the man himself, and we still have, because I mean we've been taught like literally like minutes before we went live, we were still updating some of the graphics on that campaign page. So like making a CD level tier, not, check back with us tomorrow. We might just have that.
I'm just saying, and Christy has a great point. And I'm the same way when it comes to the comics. What good is a PDF if the power goes out? Okay. What I do when the power goes out and I can't watch TV or do a show or whatever? I go over there and I light a candle and I read comics. That's when I read. I live out in the boonies. The internet going down or the power going out kind of happens fairly regular. So my reading stack never gets too big. You know what I mean? I get a chance to read but that's when I do it. When there's no power, when there's no internet, that's when you got to have the physical media, guys. Goes out, you got nothing.
Also, now that you're talking about it, Pops, it's not like CDs are nice and flat, right? So it may not, if this campaign goes well, and Ezra, I'll leave the final decision up to you. But if this campaign goes well, it's not impossible that we could just start sliding a CD into everyone's package.
I was going to suggest stretch goal.
Right.
Yeah, well, if you're funded, then hey, we'll pop out some CDs if you guys want CDs.
We could do that.
Right now we've been so focused on like obviously the quality of the project, but then also some of the fun stuff, like let's make some stickers, like something that you can put on your guitar case or on the back of your laptop or something. And so we had if you look at the cover illustration for the graphic novel, it's an awesome illustration of a cassette tape. And so we've kind of isolated that and just made that as like a little sticker, and we're going to size it so it's about the size. So that's the cover album. And so we have that album cover as part of a sticker sheet that's going to have a bunch of random stuff. It'll have some of the characters. It'll have, some of like the tape art that we've got there, and it'll have the album. And then we've got a separate sticker because, why not, right? Have a sticker sheet, have a sticker,
Yeah.
Everybody who's old enough to have owned a cassette player owned a cassette carrier just like that.
You're in my mind.
Of course. You
have to have a carrier. Did I own that one? I own that one.
Yeah.
And okay, so here, let me tell you a story about that cover. Ezra showed me a bunch of photos of his collection of tapes.
That's right.
A lot of my tapes didn't make the transition from the East Coast to the West Coast, so I only have a few. I had to focus on my back issues, but so Ezra would send me a bunch of reference, and so what I ended up doing is like going old school. I actually did this artwork in pen and ink on old vellum paper, like traditional vellum paper, and with the dip pen, and make I wanted it to have that like physical feel. And so one of the things we then brought it into a digital space and added color and kind of gave it like that extra oomph. But what I decided we should do is we should offer the original art to someone who's a collector, someone who wants to have original art, one of a kind, that one illustration. I'd rather see it on someone's wall than to be, in my flat file with years worth of other pieces of art.
Right.
So is that in the campaign then?
That is our single biggest ticket piece, is like for the people who are in the music industry, or for the people who want who have that blank space on their wall and they need a piece of original art. It's a one of a kind.
I was gonna say, it's one. There's so many pieces of art that are comic book covers, right? Sometimes you got 10 with one campaign, right? Okay, that are cover art. There's only usually one cover for an album. It goes on the CD, it goes on the cassette. There's only one. So that piece of art kind of bigger than even having a cover art from a comic book. Can you imagine being the guy who had the original cover art from the one with Roundabout on it? Well, I don't even remember the name of the album. But that cover art was badass. Can you imagine if you were the guy that had that piece of art? That'd be like having a Frazetta, right? I mean, it's different. It's different than having a comic book cover. They're cool. Don't get me wrong.
To have the name Frazetta in the same sentence as talking about my art, it's a win already.
There you go. And I'm not even trying to do that. You see what I'm saying?
No, but us creatives, we got to get our wins where we can because it's tough out there, man.
Yeah,
I get it. I get it, brother.
Oh yeah.
I want to show this art, but then I got to shrink this thing again so I can get back over to the sidebar there. As always, this guy gets it when he's putting something on paper.
It's beautiful stuff.
Yeah. So this is Luis Santamarina's artwork, who, like I said, he's such a machine.
Yep.
And the thing that I love is that his ability to create this just like consistent feel, really, like once I started seeing him deliver pages that had that feel, I mean, look at that tape box, right? It gave me room to like to like really push the boundaries of what's going to happen in each song. So if you look at like, that's him grabbing the tape, and then if you scroll down, you'll see an example of like his experience of the music, you know. And so once again, it's just like this is the sequence that captures his mom's gradual radicalization, right? And so I really wanted to like play with like what's protest art look like these days, you know. And so I just wanted to kind of like tell that story and capture her, you know, from being a wholesome mom to being like a radical.
That's awesome.
I love how you made her pop out with the that texture. It gives it that watercolor feel to it.
Yeah, I was trying to like if I was like I said, I was trying in the same way that a musician can do a little musical, and I don't have the language for it. I can bang a bongo, but that's about it. Thanks for the compliments. Like I know that musicians like to hide stuff in their music, right? I've hung out with enough of them to know that there's always like, there's this little thing and this little musical flourish is connected to this. So I kind of wanted to add that in the art. So I started using the classic Kirby Dots Ben Day pattern to kind of evoke like her superpower coming forward, and that having to do with her, her radical activism.
It's great stuff.
Seriously, great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I really love that about Patrick's art, and Luis too. But Patrick in particular just adds all these different layers that it's a great analogy of the way that I think of when we're recording. When I was recording these songs, there's a shaker in the background that you might not really hear, but it adds to the whole texture. It adds. What you're hearing is all those parts working together, and I think it's similar on the page. What you're seeing is all these different elements, different styles coming together.
It's similar to like you're hearing a cover band play your favorite song, and it doesn't quite sound right. You're just
right. It's not the same. Right.
Yeah, they're missing that little tiny bit of whatever.
Yeah.
So I want to play another song real quick.
Cool.
Which one do you want me to play, guys? Which one? This one?
It was that one.
Yeah, that was.
I'm a fan.
That's one of Patrick's. So yeah, that's a good one to jam.
All right, we're gonna listen to some more music, people. Check this out.
Too much, everything about your friends and where they've been. You know too much, all there is about your friends and who's with who. When I was you, I'd linger all day, lighting fuses in my mind. I don't regret a thing. Mystery was delicious, and I licked it up. Now they say, come find without seeking. What's love without risking your neck? They say we're ahead, processing the infinite. I'd rather crash instead. When I was you, cut the wires underneath, just to see the look in their eyes. I don't regret a thing. Mystery was delicious, I licked it up.
Yeah.
That's the second panel on that page. Was that a different artist?
So that was Luis, who this is I'm gonna spill the tea, Ezra, right? So what we did is I set aside some panels, Luis, to kind of add, because what we wanted to do is have his experience, like have the effect of these tapes start to affect his character. And so we figured the best way we could do that was to gradually start merging our tasks, right? So at this point, you know, there'll be moments where Luis will draw a panel here and there of the kid reacting to like the music, but it's all leading towards the big climax where Luis and I just work on the pages together, essentially. Like from thumbnails up, we're just passing the digital files back and forth. He's working on specific characters, I'm working on specific characters, and they're interacting with each other in those different styles. It gets crazy, but we're trying to do like the big grand finale where everybody's singing in harmony. And so how do you do that on a page?
Right.
Lots of Photoshop files and back and forth until we get like these layers of like the special effects, the art, and then, you know, of course, the lettering to tie it all together. So really observant. I'm so glad you spotted that, because
I'm doing something very similar in my book. You know, the flashback scenes. Yeah. I wanted that different feel to it. You walk in, you just immediately you go, okay, this is different. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, because we wanted like to create those like just some of the stuff that happens on, like, you know, it's almost like trying to create that physical feel, like, you know how certain musics or certain tones, you hear this song and you get that like that rush, you know. So it's just like, we don't know if it'll work, but I kind of think this might be the way to kind of achieve that on a page, where you get that like that surprise dissonance of like the different styles.
I'm really digging the fact that all three of you all seem to have woven into each other in that yin and yang thing, where it's a lot of give and take and a lot of playing around, and here, make this work, or try and make it work, or
I mean, to me, it's
cohesive. It's similar to like making an album, right?
Yeah, it is like making an album. I mean, that to me, that's what it is. And to me, the most important part of playing music with a band is picking the right people in the first place, you know. And because I have such trust in Patrick and Luis, like I just have such respect for their art, that I feel comfortable saying like, okay, here's what I'm thinking. You know, with Luis, I got a little bit more. I gave him a little bit more structure, just because he's doing more of the story in the present day, and I'll be like, okay, this is what has to happen. This is where the story's going. This is what happens in this song. It's got to get from here to here. But I just had such trust in him and in Patrick to just come back with something that, like I was saying before, is just way better than I could have thought, you know. And that's what it you know, it is like playing music with people. You got to trust that they're going to play something that you like, you know. And I trust these guys. So like they're, you know, I think we worked really well together.
It shows. It does. It really, really shows.
Now you see over to the right there, we got one that says first 48-hour discount. You get $5 off. You get the album and the graphic novel. You get it for $5 off. After 48 hours goes by, it's gonna be 40.
Yeah.
40. But that's a great deal. For you guys know, vinyl ain't cheap. Vinyl ain't cheap. So jump on that $35 deal right now.
There you go.
And there's some of Patrick's other work. He covered this one. Yes.
Yeah, that was my breakout graphic novel that kind of put me on the map, I guess. But you know, and the beauty of it is that it's you know, it's for young readers. It's much more fantastical, talking animals and stuff. Great fun. It's a project close to my heart, but I just love being able to push off of it into this crazy new territory. And I just want to give a shout out to Mateus, our letterer, who, you know, Ezra snatched him up before Mad Cave even discovered him. And, you know.
Now, see, I know Water Wars. That's Timothy Flynn. That's Timothy Flynn, right?
Yep. Yeah, he worked on those. That's right.
Yeah.
And Luis worked on those too. So actually, Luis recommended him, and then I checked his stuff out and was like, "Oh yeah, okay,
good stuff." Good stuff.
Yeah.
Box of tapes on cassette tape.
There it is.
The first 50 backers. There's a double album set, obviously.
Yeah.
But
it'll fit on a cassette. Or maybe it'll be a long player. You remember those?
I
Yeah,
do.
I used to have Electric Ladyland on one cassette, and that fit on there. I don't know if it sounded as good. Probably it was so much tape, but still.
If you just want the PDF and the download of the music, it's right here. $12, man.
So yeah, that's 16 songs, 60 pages. So we're not talking a little floppy here, 20 pages. This is a nice. It'll be perfect bound. It'll sit on the shelf.
I just wanted you to know I do have CDs that I've gotten with comics before. Matt Knowles did one with Heirs of Isildur.
I got that one. I got that one on record, as a matter of fact. Yeah, that one's cool. Metal.
Yes, exactly. You did it on vinyl as well. But I got
that
the
one's
CD.
very cool.
But
Matt's super cool.
a band that came to me, the Lunatics Fringe. Came to me. They had a graphic novel, and it was like the music goes with the, you know what I mean? Just like I was like, this is trippy. We actually did a panel during a CromCon event where we brought out people who had music with their campaigns, right? So this is something I love. It's something I'm totally down with. People, a rock opera, man. You got to go all the way. You got to go all the way back. The Who, Tommy, Jesus Christ Superstar. There were so many that were so epic.
Let's not forget The Wall.
The Wall. Yeah.
Dude, there were so many that were so epic.
Yeah.
When I was young. And it's like, man, you gotta get behind this stuff, people, because you're not gonna see this in the mainstream.
Yeah, not unless you're someone like Roger Waters, right? Then he can have like Rick Veitch do comic art of one of his songs, and he could play it live during a set. But that's still, one song, one sequence. We're trying to build something that's like it's been thought out from the ground up. I'm no Roger Waters. I'll let Ezra make that claim if he wants. But the one thing that we've got is that we've been working on it from the ground up. Like Ezra still had doing the little magical mixing tweaks to make sure each song is perfect. So like I've listened to the songs, and then he's like, oh, here's the updated mix. Work from this one instead. And I'm like, oh, okay. Let me click on another layer.
Yeah, it's the progression. It's just like with some of the people that do art in our network, like, right? I mean, they've been doing an art show on the network for a couple of years, and you've watched how they've gotten better week to week to week. And you look back at that stuff they did 2 years ago, and then you tell them hey man, you need to go back and look at episode 1, 2, and 3 back when you first started, and then look what you're doing now, bro. You're leveling up. I love watching the progression of that, whether it be art or just like you said, hearing it as the song gets fulfilled. Do you remember when them 4-track keyboards first came out, Ezra?
Well, I had a 4-track cassette player for sure. Yeah.
I mean, the keyboard where you could actually track stuff in to play while you were playing the keyboard, like tracks and all the different stuff.
Oh, cool. I never had one of those. I had a cassette player that I would play guitar into, and then I would loop myself and like play over it and play over it and play over it,
I had a friend that was a keyboardist, and he had one of these, and you could go program 100 different beats or sounds or whatever, you could program 100 of them into it, where it would just be the flip of a button and you had a drum track behind you or whatever, right?
Right.
Dude, it was so much fun. I would program sounds for him and he'd play the music.
That's awesome.
It was so much fun messing with stuff like that. And that was back when it was fairly new. I mean, if you didn't have a recording studio type equipment, you couldn't do stuff like that. And then all of a sudden you had one machine.
Yeah.
And you could actually program 40 or 100 sounds. It was like, yeah, this is cool.
Right. Yeah. I know that now what we have, if you've been around for a while recording music or playing music, you think back to what we usually, I used to like huddle in my bedroom with my 4-track cassette player and, play guitar parts over themselves. Yep. And now it's like, you can get software that does that on your phone, like lickety split.
We can pull the tape out, put the pencil in, back it up just a little bit, so it matches up just perfect. Yeah.
Well, it was like great for him because we could program the rhythm, we could program the lead, we could program the drum beat and everything, and then he would play the keyboards, right? And you could record the whole thing all together, even if everybody wasn't there.
Yeah.
That was what was cool. It was like you could get everybody's part and just like meld it together. And that was early in the, digital part of music.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Well, Ezra, don't you have a few notable cast members, I should call them, that participated in producing this?
Yeah, the singers. I mean, the Forrest Van Dyke, who you heard on the first song. He's in The Lion King right now, the Broadway show. And Jessica Jelliff, who sang that second song. I was in a show with her, like an off-Broadway thing called Beowulf. And she's an incredible singer. And then we have Christian Gibbs, who's he was in Passing Strange, which was by Stu. That was a long run in New York, and he's got his own bands, and he's an amazing performer. And then me, I sang the dad songs. I'm the dad in life and in my comic,
Well, guys, I hate to do this. I got another show coming up.
Yeah, cool, man.
But I did want to say, please, next time, guys, let me know ahead of time. We'll promote the crap out of it. You know what I mean? I didn't know you were going to launch it today, or I didn't make sure everybody knew it was launching today.
Yeah, that's all right.
It had been in the title. You know what I mean? It's like
but you got the ninja launch thing going on down there, and that's pretty cool.
Well, I put it in the title on YouTube. Everybody's going to know now that there was a launch, and I'll put this up as the featured video, for a couple days. Make sure people catch. If they didn't catch it, make sure they do. We'll generate a couple shorts to play, to promote, over on TikTok and whatever. I try to cover, make what I do it thorough and cover it well. It was great to see you again, Ezra. It's always great to see you, Master Lugo.
Thanks for having us, Pop.
I got one question for both of you, because this is important to me. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about that you didn't get a chance to cover?
Well, really quick, we're keeping this campaign tight because we have holidays coming, right? So it's only running for just over 20 days, 22 days, I think we settled on.
Yeah, I think so.
We're trying to get in and out quick. So maybe, Pops, now that we're talking, maybe we could do a rap party with you, when the time comes, and, come back with some of the crazy things that we've collected along the way,
Yeah, that's
cool. We've got a few big plans. We haven't nailed down the details, but once again, this is me going off the cuff, is that Ezra plans to do a live show, a live performance of the rock opera at a comic shop.
That would be cool.
That's gonna be next Tuesday, the 29th. We got a comic shop here in Kingston, New York, called World's End, and the guys are so cool that run it, and they're gonna let us. So I put the band together, and we're gonna set up in the back room where they normally have the gaming nights and everything, and we're gonna do, I think, 5 songs from the rock opera and live stream it. It's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be so fun.
Oh, dude, can I simulcast that?
Yeah, that'd be great. That would be awesome.
That would be epic. Yeah, we're still putting the pieces together,
Yeah.
Tuesday nights are wide open on the network.
Great. Yeah, let's do that. That would be great. That would be great. It's really going to be good. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, you guys get with me. Like, let's see. How about Mondays and Tuesdays are hell, boy. Get with me on Wednesday morning or something.
Yeah.
And we'll nail something concrete down, because I don't want to forget. Okay, I don't want to forget. I want to get that. I definitely want to do that.
All right. Love it. I love it.
On the network. That'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
Yeah. We're just working out the technical details of all of that. Like I said, I guess it's that punk rock DIY thing where we're just like, let's throw a chair at this thing too,
And
For the first time ever, a rock opera performed live at a comic shop, thanks to the ear goggle. You know?
If you are, I mean, if you do it on YouTube, I can just, screen snipe it, play it while you're, or you can actually, if you need to, you can use my StreamYard and go just straight out to 7 or 8 different platforms.
We'll figure that out. We, like Patrick said, we got some technical things. I'm not exactly a wizard with this kind of stuff, but I know there's a way to do that. So we'll be, we got a week to figure it out. So it's cool.
It would be cool. It would be very cool.
Yeah.
If you got a camera, we can make it happen, bro.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, definitely get with me. And you said 22 days, so I think that's a Tuesday as well. That is ready on. Like I said, Tuesday evenings are wide open, so that'd be perfect, guys. We got you.
Great.
Cool,
awesome. Man. Yeah. We're hitting the Tuesdays for some reason, but it's like I said, it's part of the whole symphony, and that's the little triangle,
Yeah, I think that's the 12th, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
That sounds right. Yeah. So yeah. I
mean, I'm just putting that on my calendar real quick so I don't forget. Countdown.
Yeah, great.
Lugo, Ezra. Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Great.
We and dang, we kicked that thing off at what, 6:30, 6:45, something like that.
I guess it should be about that time. Yeah. I don't know what we have it set for, but it'll be something like that.
All right. I got you. Great talking to you, gentlemen.
Thank you,
always.
Ezra.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Pops. Once again.
Levi, great hanging with you.
Great meeting you, Levi. Let's talk soon.
Yeah, no problem. It's nice meeting you.
Yeah, I want to hear more about your work as well. We've been talking so much. We need to.
You can find it at Galaxy Memorial Park.
Awesome.
It's, Arlington Cemetery for Superheroes.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
That one launches on Memorial Day. So you see, we got this big build up for it. You see, do you guys hear me talking? We got this big build up for the launch. Of this
That's,
we have a front story and then a back story.
Sitting at the feet of the masters right now. We gotta take notes.
Yeah, you gotta have fun, guys. That's all. That's all that matters. If you're having fun, then your passion product, your passion project is doing what it's supposed to do, right? I have to go look for something else. I promised I would play Robert's trailer again on the way out of here. So let me go find his link. Where was that? Way up there. All right. Let me get that queued up. As always, like I said, it's great talking to you guys. It's great coming out here and doing this with people. Levi, hey, you did wonderful, my friend.
Thank you. Thanks.
We got a new co-host, people. That's all.
Awesome. Well, expect to hear more from Box of Tapes because we still got a lot of stuff. We're still unpacking a bunch of things we want to make this campaign into. So,
hey, once a day, drop that link in the Facebook group once a day, and if you have something special, new that you're adding to the campaign or whatever, make sure you.
Yeah,
let everybody know, bro.
We got tons of behind the scene artwork and stuff we're gonna share. Just lots of all the times that I had to handwrite Box of Tapes just to get it perfect. All of that,
Yeah.
So yeah. Thanks again, guys. This has been awesome, and we'll look forward to being in touch soon.
Thanks, Pops.
All right. Bet. I'm gonna play this man's trailer, and
cool.
Matthew, I see you in the chat over there. We did play your trailer between segments earlier, and Corissa played yours at the beginning of the show because that's what we do. We have one more to play, and that's going to be hers after we play this one for Robert. Okay, so check it out, people. Have a great weekend, or have a great week, and I will see you, tomorrow. Be right back out here again tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. Peace.
Cheers, guys.
Oh, we're out of here.
They're back to finish the job. The greatest stars of the indie comics revolution of the 1980s have returned. Read their latest adventures in the new book, Legends of Indie Comics. Just imagine a full house of top indie comics characters reunited in this collection of prose fiction tales by the genius creators who first breathed life into them in the 1980s. They blew the lid off the comics industry in the 80s, setting the stage for transformations to come.
Imagine or remember how it was back then. Comic book stores like this one were a rarity. The direct sales market that made them possible was still in its infancy. A handful of companies dominated sales, and the books they published, with some exceptions, tended to stay within the lines. Then suddenly, a big bang. New companies exploded into being. Companies like First, Pacific, Eclipse, Dark Horse, Aardvark Vanaheim, Renegade, Vortex. Shelves filled with comics by big talents with big ideas for fresh and innovative content. It was an amazing time to love comics. Now, thanks to this book, the excitement lives again.
Whether you lovingly remember these heroes and creators, or are meeting them all for the first time, you are in for a heck of a ride with this star-studded lineup. Buckle up for stories of the nutcase superhero Badger by Mike Baron. From Barbarian to Pope and beyond, Cerebus the Aardvark by Dave Sim. A Man Who Became a Mountain, Concrete by Paul Chadwick. A carrot-costumed brawler in a very Dada world, Flaming Carrot by Bob Burden. The Warrior at the Intersection of All Realities, Grimjack by John Ostrander. Gun for Hire from the African Veldt to the Concrete Jungle, John Sable Freelance by Mike Grell. The Most Muscle-Bound Hero of All Time, Megaton Man by Don Simpson. Private Eye, Triggerfinger with an Attitude, Michael Mouser by Joe Staton. Battling Beasts and Creatures of Every Claw and Fang, Mr. Monster by Michael T. Gilbert. Pumped up by a mystical Muscle Beach ad, he fights an ultraviolet war against evil, Luther Strode by Justin Jordan. Patriotic superheroes fight the good fight and their own dark secrets. The American by Mark Verheiden. Putting the misfit in World War II, The Desert Peach by Donna Barr. Dimension-hopping maniacs wreaking mayhem, Those Annoying Post Brothers by Matt Howarth. An unstoppable ninja fighting crime from the darkest shadows, Whisper by Stephen Grant. Resurrected by ancient gods to fight the forces of darkness, El Muerto, the Aztec Zombie by Javier Hernandez. These characters are back to finish what they started, to bring some old-school indie comics power to the modern age that they helped make possible. Light up your comic book life with a digital, softcover, or hardcover edition, and watch for the mind-blowing stretch goals and add-ons that will make this an even more thrilling adventure. Join the revolution. Back legends of indie comics.
Flip City Magazine is just really pulling out all the stops, man. Your guys' production value of this magazine has gone insane. I mean, look at that. I mean, I remember when you guys, it was black and white. Even when it was black and white, I thought your quality was great. But damn, they have just, I mean, they just really stepping it up a notch. Look at this. James Corbett, boys. James Corbett.
Genuinely cutting. But also funny, and obviously just chaotic and very fun.
I love Flip City. It has brought new types of badassery and integrity to the print medium.
Okay. Where is my coffee?
That's all they have.
What? But who is the manager of this B&B with continental breakfast? I don't think they know what they're doing. It is so hard to get good help these days.
We're going to cut all this out, right? And we're really going to talk about what I'm here to talk about, or no?
What? Who cares what you're here for? I don't. It's
You
called
don't.
Killer Karen. What did you think you were going to get, sir?
I did. I honestly, when I got the call from my buddy to come on, he said it's going to be a good time. Obviously, it was a joke. Yeah. He did. He does. And you know what? I hate him too.
How do you end this thing? How do you put where's the brakes on this bus? I forgot.
Jazz hands. Jazz hands.
Have a good night.